Well, I started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone, and the sun went down as I crossed the hill, and the town lit up, and the world got still. Learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. The good old days may not return, and the rocks might melt, and the sea may burn. Learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. Well, some say life will beat you down and break your heart and steal your crown. So I started out for God knows where, and I guess I'll know when I get there. I'm learning to fly around the clouds. What goes up must come down. Learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. And coming down is the hardest thing.
Hi.
Hi, that was beautiful,
Yeah.
Danimal.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Nice
Yeah.
way to start off
Hard week.
the show. A hard week.
Hard week.
A very difficult week. Yeah.
Love you, Tom Petty, and everybody affected by what happened in Vegas too.
Yeah.
Too much loss this week, but we hope that you felt that. And Danimal's going to be back at the end of the show to do some more Tom Petty. And we hope you enjoy the whole thing. Shakeem, are you talking to me?
No, it's later. We're gonna do that later.
We're talking
Yeah,
to
we're-
Shakeem, our other love behind the camera. But we're going to hopefully lift your spirits with Crazy Flute right now, right? Hey, guys.
Hey guys, this
How
is
are you?
Flute and his wife Dana.
And his wife, Crazy.
His wife Crazy. She's
Yeah.
crazy this week. Keith, who usually plays with you, got good news this week,
Yes,
right?
he-
Good news. Good.
He got a real job.
Got got a real job that
He's-
started today.
He started
so.
this morning, so.
Dana's
Congratulations.
filling in, so, God, we got a lot to talk about. You brought a bunch of flutes. I'm very excited to learn about those.
Yeah.
You got some big news. Tell everybody about that.
My group got nominated for Best Debut Duo Group for Best New Debut Duo Group for 2017 in the Native American Music Awards, which is it's the largest indigenous music awards in the world, and it's a really big thing. And for us, especially coming from just being street performers, we played one or two little shows over the last 2 or 3 years, and that's about it. And then we go from that, put out an album, and then we get nominated for this huge show, which is on the 14th of October. We'll be going to Niagara Falls, New York, for the awards ceremony there to see if we actually win. So it'll be pretty cool.
Pull that towards you a little bit.
Pull that mic toward you.
There you go.
Make sure we
We're
hear
getting,
you.
Is this good?
There you go. So October 14th, and people, there's a public voting between now and next.
You can go to www.nativeamericanmusicawards.com. There's you'll see all the stuff for Vote Now. You click on the voting button, and it'll take you to a registration. You fill out this little registration, and want to make sure people aren't double voting. Keep it honest.
Those double voters.
Yeah, and we're in category 4, which will be best debut duo group.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just look for Crazy Flute, and our album's called Echoes from the Mountain.
And we'll try to link you guys to that information, but don't you go double voting.
Yeah,
okay?
don't double vote. And
I want to, if you don't mind,
no, go ahead.
I'm gonna get up. I want to look at these real quick, and then we'll get to playing. So you won't be able to hear me. I'm just checking it out. I think they look pretty cool. Will you tell us about the flutes, though?
Yeah, most of these are Plains style flutes right here.
Can I touch it?
Yeah. Go ahead. Some of them are very expensive, so.
I'm being gentle, I
right.
promise. Okay, so what is the difference, and just explain to people.
Well,
we've never had this.
No.
Yeah, like I said, these are all wood flutes. They're all handcrafted. None of these are like mass manufactured. Every one of them is made by hand by artists. The one that you're holding right now, that's made by a local guy named Dana Ross, and he's an amazing flute maker. And he's the preferred person I have for my flutes. And, he puts a lot of time into it, all handcrafted. Originally, these flutes were used back in the day as a courting instrument. A man would use this to get a woman's attention. And,
I imagine it's true today as well.
It tends to be a good thing. People tend to like it. I mean, it's unusual music.
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot of it. It's not like this is on the mainstream radio or anything like that. Right. Indigenous music tends to have its own little place where it stays, and it doesn't really bleed out far from.
Right. Sure.
Its original spots. But like I said, these are just 3 different kinds here, and then this big one is what's called an Ona flute, and it's a modern design, which is a takeoff of these smaller ones, and it's a drone flute. It accompanies itself when you play it.
All right.
So,
play.
Let's play.
Yep.
Play that one first.
I'm going to back this mic. This is a high pitch flute.
Yeah. Just make yourself comfortable. And,
So.
Oh, look. I can hear it. I knew I was hearing an echo.
This is also made by Dana Ross.
That's very cool.
Really unique. Like I said, its own modern design. You wouldn't have found these, 1,000 years ago here in North America. So,
it's awesome.
Not this particular kind anyway.
Very cool. Let me do something so I can put this down. Every week we're here at the library, at the studio at the Chattanooga Public Library, which we're very grateful to be here.
Always.
We wanted to announce, they do classes for kids, and they've started offering a couple for adults as well. So
awesome.
Beat making is Tuesday 6 to 7. and then mic techniques and vocal production for adults, and they do those shows for kids as well. So,
And we've told you
that
guys, but young adults are actually manning this show just through the window behind Flute. It's really, really, really
yeah,
cool.
it's a pretty cool
Yeah.
partnership. So,
Yes.
You do a lot through Soundcore.
Yeah, Stratton Tingle's group Soundcore, we're part of the Sidewalk Stages program. And
Awesome.
that's where they put us out and, get us different areas around downtown to play and stuff. And, as I've said before to many people, if it wasn't for Stratton, we wouldn't have been able to put out an album. We would not have been able to afford to build our own studio.
Wow.
A lot of stuff, where we're sitting at today in regards to the Native American Music Award, which we call a NAMI, kind of like the
NAMI.
Grammys, but, it's, directly because of, Stratton giving street performers an opportunity and, saying, hey, you guys can do something. Let's just come together as a community in Chattanooga. And so it made me really happy, and we were able to do that. And that's mostly what we do, almost every single weekend for, this will be our second summer, that we just got through, doing all this. So it's
Yeah.
like amazing.
Yeah, we've talked to a couple of artists that have done it, and you learn a lot, right? People are either going to come listen or they're not, right? So you know what works. And,
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It gave us a chance to, before we went and recorded, while I was trying to teach myself how to use all the recording stuff that we bought, it let me and my drummer work on, how we work together, what we wanted to do. We would come up with an idea at home, goofing around in the studio, and say, let's try to play this live, and we would just stumble through it till we got it right. So we were able to perfect it while dealing with the public, which, I don't know, for me, that's a lot better than trying to perfect it in the studio and then come out and go, now we're going to try to play it and hope we don't mess up. Kind of takes some nervousness out of it when you're on the street going, hey, I'm going to mess up anyway. And, people are going to walk by. They may not even hear the mess up because they don't know what's right or wrong, but it gives us a chance to do what we do.
I like the mess ups.
Yeah.
Good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we learn a lot through messing up too. Let's play some more.
Yep.
Okay.
Please.
Do a,
Should say that the songs on the record are instrumentals and all originals, correct?
Yes. We don't do any cover stuff at all. We write it. The flute could be difficult to run. Like if Danimal was playing the guitar, he would want to know exactly what key my flute's in and then what key each of these were and then stay within that or, related harmony notes to it. I don't have the scale on this that a guitar has.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, when you use other instruments, you have to play them to the flute. I can't play the flute to somebody else's guitar stuff because while the flute's a versatile instrument, it still has its limitations because it's also an ancient instrument. It was created way before there were guitars in North America.
Makes sense.
But this is a kind of a nice little solo, lonely song. So I'll play this for you. This has more of a traditional vibe. A lot of what I play is upbeat. It's more modern.
Yeah. How was it you described it to me?
It's not the lonely Indian on the hill, with the wind blowing in his hair, mourning the loss of his people. We'll always mourn the loss of our people, but there's also more to life than just being sad. At some point, for me, musically, I want to have something happy, something bright, something that is hopeful, because there's always hope as long as you can believe in it, and that's how I feel about it. But this is an example of something a little more traditional sounding.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of the trills in that I was doing, that's not so traditional, but I almost can't help it. That's kind of my signature thing when I play. But the slow, almost rolling cadence to it, you know, because originally, even with drums, these weren't played with drums. You know, what a guy would do is he would go out, he'd carve a flute, and say, you know, you had a daughter that I was interested in. I'm not allowed to directly approach her. It's considered disrespectful. It's considered deceitful. So generally, I would have to either do something to get your attention or get her attention to get her to speak on my behalf to you to allow me to approach you to court her. You know, in a big round. And this is a really condensed version of the tradition for it. But I would carve a flute, and she would see the flute as I carried it around the village, making sure I was here where she could see me without me talking to her. And she would see, hey, did you take time and make this instrument? Does it look good? That tells me a lot about you. And then I would play a song, usually at night, hidden in the woods, you know, among a chorus of other men who might be interested in this woman. And she'd know each man by the particular song he wrote.
Wow.
So it was used for courting, you know.
What happened? What has happened?
I think guys do that, just whack them over the head with it.
Right. But
take all that middle out of it.
yeah, but that's, you know, the story of its uses. And
That's,
you know,
I've never heard that. That's
yeah, it's interesting.
That's
There's a big
beautiful.
history to things. You
I
know.
love that.
Well, thank
It's
you.
really cool.
one of the neat things about Flute's story is you avoided your Native
Oh,
American
yeah.
past for what,
Really?
first 22
Oh, yeah.
years of your life? Or
I was adamant that because of my grandfather and my father, and you know they're all roar, and I was a young punk kid. You know, all I back in my early, what I did was cage fight. You know,
Whoa.
underground fighting.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You know, the only rule was when the guy said I'm done, you had to quit. It wasn't even, you know, sanctioned in any way. It was dumb youth. You know what I mean? But I was good at it and I liked it, and that's what I thought I wanted to do, was fight for the rest of my life, because I was angry at something I didn't even know what I was angry at. But I was angry and I wanted to fight anything that moved.
he told me a funny story when we talked that he would come home with prize money. I won, and be like, good, your medical bill's going to be.
Yeah, yeah. About all I've got to show for it now is, you know, it gets cold or bad weather, and I'm like, oh, God, my hands hurt.
So how
You
did
know.
you make the turn?
Well, what happened was, at the time, I was married to a Cherokee lady that lived out in Arkansas, where I was living at, because I lived on the Oklahoma border, Arkansas-Oklahoma border. And I was married to this lady. She was part Cherokee. And she had this, I guess, an interest because I didn't. You know, because like I said, it was what my parents did, or my father did, and my grandfather did. My mother is Scottish and Scandinavian. So we got a weird Viking native mix there. But
Cool.
What my father and them did, I wanted nothing to do with it, just because it was expected of me. I was like, don't try to tell me. I'm to this day, don't try to tell me what to do.
Of course not.
I am the absolute cut my nose off to spite my face just to grin at you while, you know, my nose is gone, and go, at least I did it and you didn't get to. You know, I'm very bad about that, but it's carried me through.
Bless you over there. Bless you.
Yeah, she should get sainthood for putting up with me. She really should. You know.
Definitely.
And but I'd avoided everything, and what got me really into it, you know, this whole stopping the rebellion thing, was I met this fella named Tom Walker. Tom was this elderly gentleman, Vietnam veteran, who ran this little shop right across the Arkansas border into Oklahoma. And my ex-wife had bought me a choker, which is a bead-stranded necklace made from buffalo bone. And it's spaced out, and it was used as armor. You know,
Sounds cool.
Yeah, if I were to grab your neck with that on, that has the potential to tear away as you pull away, just like the wraps that you see in Native movies. Those are so somebody couldn't grab your hair. You pull your hair loose, so you kept your hair braided up in
Yeah.
battle.
I need one of those.
And, but we, I wore the choker till it fell apart. I mean, just it literally, the sinew and stuff it was made from just completely broke, and I had no clue how to fix it, because, hey, I didn't care what Grandpa and Pop and everybody else had to say about things. So I went to see this guy, you know, Tom. I go in there, and he's like, you know, what nation are you? And I got mad. I was like, what does it even matter? Well, who you'd ask me that question? I said, all I want you to do is fix this, you know. And, you know, it started. He got his dander up. I, you know, the red on my neck went up, and I was like, we got at each other, and he was like, I'm not going to fix it. We had kind of a stalemate about it, and he's like, fine, you come back.
When you know who you are?
No, he said, you come back tomorrow, and I'll show you how to fix it.
Oh.
But he said, I'm not going to fix it for you.
Oh.
And his whole content of it was, if you come back. And I was like, oh, really, old man? Okay, let's see what happens. And I went there, very hostile the next day. And in the course of showing me how to, this guy was a psychological genius. In the course of showing me how to make the choker, he started talking about little bits of history.
Smart.
Little bits of the legends, little bits of culture. And I was like, despite myself, I got interested. And then it started off a 2 or 3 year run of, I spent almost every day that he basically got a free employee.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
I would come there and spend all my time learning to make things and hearing
Great
old
story.
stories. Yeah.
How's he doing?
I have no idea. Lost touch with him.
Okay.
You know,
It was a moment in time.
yep, it was just that particular, what I needed at that time. And
Yeah.
it turned me away from the, bare knuckle fighting. I mean, the bare knuckle fighting, it cost me, being married and all that
Right.
stuff to the lady I was married to at the time, because that's all I wanted to do was fight. I'd come home, $2,000 in my pocket, but, looking like Frankenstein's monster after the villagers got hold of him. Yeah.
Cute.
It was pretty bad. Now I'm sitting there grinning and bleeding going, look at me. It was not a good thing. And I was too dumb to see it at the time because I was so wrapped up in this angry at the world garbage,
Right.
Yeah,
let it go. No more anger, no more hate. Now you're a lover, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Let's hear something.
Okay.
It really is beautiful. If you ever get to hear something like this in person.
Yeah, it's neat.
This is made by a flute maker from out around California. His name's Guillermo Martinez. This is a raven flute. It's got like an Athabascan, Northwest people style of head on it. It's very interesting flute, very deep toned. This has more of your classic sad tone, so I tend not to play it sad because I like to. I have a contrary nature to me in a lot of ways.
We figured that out.
So here we go.
So cool. Such a treat today, especially. We are going to link you. It's so cool that you guys have acknowledged that way for a Native American Music Award. That's right. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes. Yep.
So we'll link you to that after this, and
As well
post
as your own
information.
website, because that's where people can buy the record.
Yeah.
right?
We're on iTunes, CD Baby, any of the major sellers. We're on that.
That's Crazy Flute, right?
Yeah, Crazy Flute.
Crazy Flute.
And you can find us if you do, Facebook at Crazy Flute 01.
At
the
Crazy
numbers
Flute
01,
and
yep.
I'll link you to that too as
Yep.
soon as we're done.
And you'll be able to go on there. We have a shop now button on there where you can go. It's actually linked from my
cool.
Facebook right to CD Baby.
Awesome.
To be able to
Makes it
purchase
easy.
the album. Yep, or you can contact me on the Facebook page. Send me a message, and we can get you a physical copy of the CD if that's more your thing.
Awesome.
Voting for this ends, from what I understand, October 13th, the day before
Okay.
the awards, is when they end it. And like I said, I'm really I'm not above begging. You know, it would be really nice.
If you like what you've heard today, go vote.
Ain't too proud to beg.
Oh no, because this is a big thing.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot of pride in being here in Chattanooga, and the concept of it is that we get to bring something home that nobody in Chattanooga's brought home before. You know, and we're like, you know, straight from the streets. I mean, you don't get much more heart of the city than the streets of Chattanooga, and that's where we play. That's where we, been making our bones at and everything else. So it'd be really good to be able to bring us home, because it's not just for us. It's, in our mind, for everybody in Chattanooga really who, supports us and hears us play and drops money in our bucket on the weekends when we're out there, tooting and grooving on the flutes.
Yeah, very cool. And this week, you mentioned, thanks for reminding me, is about celebrating other people and the diversity here in Chattanooga. It's Pride Week here, and the entire week there are events. Tonight is Drag Bingo at the Honest Pint. Daniel DeLong and Tiana Montes are going to do a full drag show and play some bingo, and then there's a parade going on Sunday. So check that out as well. All about supporting everybody.
That's really cool.
Having pride, and we are going to pay tribute again now to the man, Tom Petty. Beautiful, beautiful musical soul.
Let's say thanks. Thanks to Flute and
Thanks
Dana.
again.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Again.
Good luck.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on here.
So
Yep,
thanks.
14th. And one last thing, you go to that NAMI site,
Yeah.
Native American Music Awards, like I said, we call it the NAMIs. They'll have a thing on there that you can link to for on the 14th. It'll live stream on the Native American Music Awards website, so you can actually watch. I'm also going to be presenting one of the categories.
Oh, fun. The
So
digital age.
I'll get to get up here and,
chit-chat.
talk. Imagine that.
You can
talking.
do that.
Yeah.
I have faith.
But
Thank
thank you
you.
guys for having us.
Definitely thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. So we're going to have the
let's
camera go to
turn.
Dan, and he's going to tell us about an event tomorrow night.
Yeah,
and
let's
then,
talk about that first.
We do that first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, the Communicators, we're doing a fundraiser for our first MC and a good friend of all of us. With the Communicators and Tone Harm, excuse me, I don't want to leave Tone Harm out. Tone Harm will be there. It's going to be at the Tap House in St. Elmo. And it's for our friend Jamal Woody. He had congestive heart failure. And so we're doing a little fundraiser for him. It's a $10 donation. If you come to the event, it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's happening tomorrow at the Tap House. So check out. We got an event up on Facebook for it. It's called the Jam for Jam is what we're calling it. So come out to that if you can tomorrow. All right, and Tom Petty.
Yeah.
All right, rest in peace.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away and kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away, go find you a lover. Go away somewhere all bright and new. I've seen, will I've seen no other who compares with you. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out